Hi, I'm Renata Duma, and on behalf of CA for IT, I'd like to welcome you to our seminar on PSC risk, or Personal Service Corporation risk. Our seminar objective is to provide independent contractors, recruiters, staffing agencies, management, and corporate leaders with a solid understanding of the current situation pertaining to the Canada Revenue Agency's position on PSC risk, a very real risk that personally incorporated individuals currently face in Canada. Joining me in this discussion are George Wall, President and CEO of CA for IT, or Chartered Accountants for IT Specialists. I'm also here with Dave Hayward, who has more than 22 years experience in the information technology staffing industry and is on the board of directors of the NACCB. On behalf of CA for IT, we hope you derive a significant benefit from today's panel discussion so you can learn just how you can protect yourself against personal service corporation risk. Thanks for watching. Dave, George, can you talk about the NACCB and the role they play in the staffing agencies and a little bit more about the PSB risk?
I think maybe I'll give you a little background on the NACCB and let George speak to the PSB risk a little bit more. The NACCB was formed about 10 years ago now as an association for the companies involved with IT staffing, contract staffing in the Canadian marketplace. Prior to that, all the individual companies worked totally separately, never spoke to one another, and there's a lot of common issues. So the association was formed as a group so we could deal with some common issues within the industry, and has been effective in doing that. As George will allude to, there's legislative issues, other issues that require lobbying at times. Prior to the formation of the NACCB, we didn't have a lobby group. Now we do, and it provides a forum whereby we can address the government or other people with specific issues and talk amongst ourselves as to various points of view on that. So it's been very effective in that way. The other thing is it provides a forum for people to get to know other members of their industry. Again, as I mentioned, they were all very separate before that, and now people come in, especially the smaller organizations, get a chance to meet some of the larger organizations, and they understand some of the issues. And also because of the way our industry is today, where some of the contracts go out to the larger organizations in terms of staffing requirements, the smaller firms can benefit by working with the larger organizations to provide some of the people. Most recently, the issue you described, the PSB issue, is one of the key ones we're working on, and George is at the forefront of that.
Mm-hmm. George, would you care to extrapolate on that?
Well, I'd like to just talk about something that Dave said there. I've been involved with the NACCB since it started about 10 years ago, and the industry has definitely evolved into a much more sort of cards on the table. There was a lot of independent action before, but I think now we have an organization that represents almost $2.5 billion of contracting a year, and therefore we're a voice for the independent contractor community and staffing agencies, which we think is a good model. And I think that any recruiter or staffing agency should seriously consider membership in the NACCB. It's a great forum for getting to know the issues that are going on in your industry. There's always an opportunity for smaller agencies to bring forth candidates that the larger firms haven't been able to find. Finding good talent is always a key issue, and there's a role for everybody, and the industry has become a lot more flexible in working with other people to get the best candidates for their clients. So I think it's an organization that is evolving and is serving all of our members very well.
What's the current membership?
Geez, George, I would say it's in around 80 firms.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the exact number. Yeah. It's growing every year. Mm-hmm. There's still a lot of the smaller firms are not members, so we would encourage anybody who happens to see this to join. As I say, you get to take part in discussions in and around the industry issues, and a lot of them are, shall we say, legislative in nature, whether they be tax law, workers' compensation law, those things that may be affecting our industry. It allows us to work effectively as a lobby group and address those issues. So it's growing every year, but there's still room for more companies to join.
Great. So let's get back to the PSB issue.
Well, I think the NACCB has demonstrated its raison d'etre just by this issue, because the NACCB was able to go to CRA and have a very open discussion about what was transpiring and where they were coming from, so that we could deal with it on a transparent basis and work for the benefit of all Canadians. And that's what we're all trying to do. We really believe that we're doing something positive for the Canadian IT industry, and that we want to work with CRA, and we want them to sort of work with us so that we can deal with the situation in the way it should be dealt with, not on the basis of how much audit money we can bring in.
Right, and the situation exactly is?
Well, the CRA is looking at the independent contractors and looking at the way they're set up and deeming some of them to be personal services businesses, in which case they won't allow the typical deductions and expenses that a truly incorporated business would be.
Right.
The question comes into the interpretation of the tax legislation to determine what represents a PSB as opposed to a legitimate incorporated business. We've been working as an association in talking with CRA to try and get some more information on that, to educate our own membership, because I think key to this is people have to know what the rules are so they can abide by them. And I think that's really the point that George and I are trying to make, is that we understand that there are rules that have to be followed. We want the rules to be as clear as possible so we can educate our membership.
Exactly. So what's your advice to anyone who's watching today when it comes to PSB risk?
Well, I think the NACCB would like to get more people that are part of the voice, so that we can speak for more people. The most important thing that I think we've identified for PSB risk is act like a business, seek out professional help, whether it be professional accountants or a professional staffing agency to help you market your business. You should be seeking out knowledgeable professionals if you want to do the best for your business.
Very good. Dave?
Just that I think independent contracting, having your own business, is a legitimate way of doing business today. But just like anything, you must do it appropriately. So you must take the time to treat yourself like a business and follow the rules appropriately.
And get proper advice.
Absolutely.
Proper advice. That's right.
Okay, well great. Thanks very much for sharing your thoughts with us today. I'm sure they were very helpful.
Thank you.
Thanks.